Stop what you're doing and look at this car. What if I told you that the body panels aren't made of steel, aluminum, or carbon fiber, but fabric? That's right. This is the BMW GINA, and its exterior is essentially a giant piece of high-tech spandex stretched over a dynamic frame. Need better aerodynamics? It literally grows its own spoiler. Want to see the engine? The hood unzips itself right down the middle, like a piece of alien clothing. This isn't just a car. It's a living, shape-shifting sculpture that challenges every single convention of automotive design. But the real surprise isn't what it can do, but why BMW has kept this game-changing technology locked away for over 15 years. Is this the future BMW is secretly building toward? You need to stick around to see how this revolutionary fabric skin actually works. This is the BMW GINA Light Visionary model. GINA, by the way, stands for Geometry and Functions in Adaptations. Unveiled back in 2008, it wasn't a car built for mass production. It was a statement, a design philosophy on wheels from the team led by the controversial but visionary Chris Bangle. BMW built this futuristic roadster on the chassis of the iconic Z8, giving it the heart of a powerful sports car. But its mission was far grander than simply being fast. The GINA was built to challenge the 100-year-old assumption that a car's shape must be rigid and static. It was an object of research, intended to explore customer demands for greater personalization, utility, and a more emotional relationship with their vehicle. It asks, why should a car's form follow its function if the function can change? This concept is significant because it represents BMW at its most daring, showcasing a philosophy that quietly influenced many design cues in later production cars, like the use of lightweight materials and adaptive aerodynamics. Throughout this detailed breakdown, we're going to show you exactly how this fabric-skinned marvel works, from the shape-shifting exterior to the adaptive cockpit, and discuss whether this technology could still make a comeback in the EV age. Let's dive into the sheer brilliance of the GINA concept, starting with the outer layer. This isn't just any cloth. The skin is made of a highly durable polyurethane-coated spandex material. It's resilient, water-resistant, and won't shrink or tear, even with constant shape changes. Underneath this seamless membrane is an aluminum wire and carbon strut structure, all controlled by electric and hydraulic actuators. Think of it as a skeleton with muscles, allowing the car to truly feel alive. The way this car expresses function is the real showstopper. When the headlights are off, the front end is perfectly smooth, giving the GINA a minimalist, almost alien face. But when you flip the light switch, the fabric pulls back like eyelids opening, theatrically revealing the actual twin headlamps. It's dramatic and completely rethinks the static design of a traditional fascia. The same adaptable thinking applies everywhere else. Need extra cooling? The kidney grille actually opens up, flexing the fabric to draw in more air. When the car reaches high speed, the flexible frame at the rear automatically extends, allowing the skin to grow its own integrated spoiler for critical downforce, then retract smoothly when you slow down. And if you need access to the engine, a classic 4.4-liter V8 borrowed from the Z8, the hood doesn't lift, it splits down the center line and peels back, giving you access with a movement that feels more like unzipping a futuristic jacket than popping a bonnet. The genius continues inside. When the GINA is parked, the steering wheel and the main instruments tuck neatly into the center console to provide maximum entry space. Once you sit down and hit the start button, the steering column moves out to meet you, the instrument cluster rises into place, and the headrest emerges from the seat. The car literally molds itself around the driver. This emphasis on adaptive function is what made the GINA a true visionary model. Now, as incredible as all this shape-shifting is, it's a concept, and it comes with some serious reality checks. The main strength is its minimal component count. The entire body is essentially just four seamless pieces of fabric. But its biggest weakness? Well, forget about crash ratings. But more practically, imagine trying to wash this thing, or what happens when a rogue shopping cart meets your spandex door. The durability is impressive, but real-world maintenance and cost would be astronomical. However, the technology developed here, the moving chassis parts, the responsive controls, that has absolutely trickled down to BMW's active aerodynamics today. But one question remains. Given the drive toward lightweight, personalized, and efficient electric vehicles, is the GINA's fabric skin due for a production comeback? We'll reveal our final verdict on the true impact of this design and why it never left the museum in the final section. We've seen the GINA stand still, opening its headlights like eyes and unzipping its engine bay like a futuristic doctor's bag. But what happens when you actually drive it? Because underneath all that wild, shape-shifting fabric is the aluminum space frame and V8 heart of the legendary BMW Z8 roadster. This is where the GINA exceeds all expectations, yet simultaneously reveals its most profound limitations. When you push the accelerator, that Z8 engine roars to life, giving you the immediate visceral punch of a classic high-performance car. The driving dynamics are surprisingly crisp and immediate, exactly what you would expect from that finely tuned chassis. And as the speed climbs, the magic happens. The flexible rear structure subtly begins to extend, autonomously deploying its seamless spoiler for enhanced downforce. You can feel the car adapting, making tiny, organic adjustments to maximize its aerodynamic grip on the road. It's an exhilarating, futuristic feedback loop that no modern production car can replicate. However, the major functional weakness is revealed not in the way it drives, but in the way it exists. For all its structural genius, the GINA remains a study in materials, not a fully engineered production car. The interior instruments, while incredibly cool as they fold up to greet you, are entirely neoprene-covered, lacking the robust quality consumers expect. Moreover, the very seamlessness that is its strength, the lack of door handles and conventional paneling, creates massive problems for maintenance and, crucially, crash safety. The aluminum frame is the structure, but the fabric exterior simply cannot handle the casual wear and tear of the real world. A rogue stone, an errant key, or even a determined vandal turns a minor scratch into a massive, costly reskinning project. The GINA promised the ultimate driver-car connection, a machine that could literally shape-shift to suit your needs. And while its adaptive body delivered a glimpse of that future, the core realization is this. Sometimes, the wildest ideas are kept in the museum, not because they failed to perform, but because they are simply too revolutionary and too fragile for the realities of mass production. So, what is the final verdict on the BMW GINA? As a potential production vehicle, the GINA fails. The impracticality of a seamless fabric skin in the real world, from road debris to complex repairs, makes it an impossible concept for a mass-market car buyer. Its sheer novelty is its biggest pro, but that same novelty creates insurmountable cons in terms of long-term cost and durability. However, as a visionary model, the GINA is an unmitigated triumph. It was never intended for the road. It was meant for the drawing board. Its true audience is not the consumer, but the designers and engineers of tomorrow. Its influence is already visible. The adaptive aerodynamics that deploy spoilers on modern M cars, the use of lightweight materials like the CFRP in the I series, and the focus on a living car that adapts its function to the driver, a philosophy that carries through to BMW's recent color-changing iVision D concept. In the current U.S. market, where the shift to electric vehicles prioritizes lightweight construction and aerodynamic efficiency, the GINA's core principles have never been more relevant. By stripping away heavy metal panels, the GINA showed a path toward maximal weight reduction and constantly optimized aerodynamics, two holy grails of EV range and performance. The GINA Light Visionary model is not the future we drive, but the philosophy that shapes the future we drive. It proved that a car can be a canvas for personal expression and a dynamic partner on the road, not just a rigid box of metal. Now, what's the craziest, most futuristic car concept you've ever seen? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on the GINA. If you were fascinated by this dive into automotive rebellion, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world's wildest cars.